Landscape architects will often plant many of the same variety of tree to achieve an effect. In this case, we've got the Bradford pear. They all come into fall color at the same time, and it's beautiful. They all blossom at the same time, and it's gorgeous. My name is Blair Glenn, and I am an ISA certified arborist. This particular complex, located in California, has an abundant number of these Bradford pears. They really are a beautiful tree. They're a variety of tree that generally doesn't get too large, so they're manageable, and there's so many benefits to these trees. The original developer thought that he had a great idea and decided to plant this tree as his main tree throughout the complex. The truth be known, there's only 4 trees in the entirety of this complex, and 65% of them are the Bradford pear. So why is that a problem? Well, on the one hand, if you have an insect or a disease that is associated with this particular variety of tree, it moves in and it attacks them all. In this particular case, the problem came when we had an unusual storm in October. The rain was significant, and the winds that came after the leaves were wetted was very, very hard. 30% of all the trees in this entire complex took a beating. So now what do? Do you top all the trees and hope for the best? Do you just top the trees that got hammered? Or do you start over from scratch? Well, the answer here is not that easy. There's going to be some selective decisions made. Some of the trees, such as this one, are pretty far gone. Other areas of the complex still look pretty good. However, look at how long and leggy these branches have become. Unfortunately, there is an anomaly with this particular tree that makes it somewhat suicidal. The way it grows is that all of the crotches, or many of the crotches, grow so tight that they end up pushing each other apart. So there are inherent weaknesses from this defect. And this is the result. Oftentimes the pressure on these 2 branches that were pushing hard against each other will just pop apart. If it's in a windstorm or a rainstorm, then there's added leverage, but it can happen even without those added elements of nature. Put these trees around a parking lot or close to buildings, and you can have some damage. So let's get back to the original topic. I threw the word monoculture up there. Why is monoculture a bad thing? If you decide that you want an effect and want a similarity within a complex and do make the decision to use the same tree throughout, then you really have to be prepared for everything timing out at the same time. All these trees do have a lifespan to them. They all do have problems that seem to come at about the same number of years. By the way, these trees are all less than 30 years old. Had there been an even distribution of different varieties throughout this complex, they would have had the problem here and the problem there, but there would not be any mass problems that all happen at the same time. So monoculture really is something that is an aesthetic issue that should have some consideration. I really don't recommend that. This concept of an avenue of trees or an archway of trees that are all the same goes way back to ancient England and Europe, and there are a lot of beautiful areas where this has been done. But when you have a complex where you have management and maintenance issues, sometimes the wise decision is really not necessarily the one that leads towards someone's aesthetic idea. Thanks for taking the time to view this brief presentation. My name is Blair Glenn, and I am an ISA certified arborist.